Hello, everybody. Let's make sure we're live everywhere we're supposed to be live. Double check. Looks good. Fabulous. Welcome to the studio, guys. Happy Monday. Happy October. I know it's not technically October, but this is, look, October week one. This is October week one's video. And the reason we do it that way is because I make videos on Mondays. So it just works like if we just stay consistent, you're going to get a video from me every Monday, even though the month starts on a Tuesday. So I realize that my September people are still finishing up their September classes today. We're going to talk about Tuesday through next Monday in the first week of October. So just a real quick couple notes about before we dive right into each of the classes, okay? I should welcome, if we have anybody new to the studio, we have some new students who are starting at the beginning of October. So this is your first weekly video. Welcome. We're excited that you're here. You're getting a video from me every single week where we talk about what the kids are learning in classes, okay? All right, so just a reminder, if you are in preschool classes today at Plattwoods, like you're normally in a Monday class, there is no class today. You should have gotten a reminder email last night, just because I felt like it was a long weekend. I didn't want anyone to forget. So no class today for Plattwoods if you are in those preschool classes. So whether it's preschool fundamentals or toddlers, you have the day off. We'll see you next week to start your October classes, okay? All of our October classes will start tomorrow, which is Tuesday. Okay. We got some funky things coming up at the end of the month. I don't know if anyone's looked at the calendar and seen what October looks like, but there's 5. Hang on, let me tell you right. In the month of October, there are 5 Tuesdays, 5 Wednesdays, and 5 Thursdays. But our classes only meet 4 times. And so that means that we're going to have some off days. So when we get to that, towards the end of the calendar, I'm going to remind you. But if you want to look now, you can. Those 5th days are going to be off days for everybody. Multimedia drawing people included, okay? If you ever want to know your class schedule, you can find it in your Sawyer account, and instructions are on the website under For Current Students. And that web page is currently working, which is great. All right, hang on. I'm trying to click the button to get to the next slide. There we go. All right, preschool classes. So again, none today in Plattwoods, but starting tomorrow, we'll start October curriculum in both Liberty and Plattwoods, and then we'll have Thursday, Friday, and then the following Monday to start October. We are studying lines this month. So you can see our artist of the month is Mondrian. Last month was Kandinsky, so we'll switch over. Kandinsky did all the dots and concentric circles. This is going to be all about lines and the art of Mondrian. We're going to study clay. So our preschoolers will break out the air dry clay and we're going to make some slab bowls. So we'll put lines in those bowls and texture in those bowls, and then we'll paint them as the month goes on, right? Because we got a little dry time that has to happen in there. Our first week's book is Lines That Wiggle by Candace Whitman, which is a fun one for lines. And I think that's it. So good stuff coming up. We do Elmer. That's the other book. And I've already forgotten the other one. But, Perfect Square. Love the Perfect Square. So a lot of great angular art. And then, of course, our stations will change. So remember those preschool stations that were happening in the playroom? Those all switch out for the month of October, so you'll see some brand new stuff for the next month. All right, multimedia classes. I only made one slide for all the multimedia people. Normally I have a slide for K-3 and a slide for 4th, 5th, and a slide for, but this time just one slide. So we're going to talk about all the multimedia classes kind of together in one group because everybody's pretty much doing the same thing in week 1. We're going to work on different projects throughout the month, but in week 1, we're all doing the same stuff. So our multimedia classes are doing clay this month. Remember, this is the type of class that every single month we're going to do something different. We just finished chalk pastels. We finished that, tied a little bow around it, wrapped it up, took it home. You should have taken your pastel projects home last week, unless you're in a Monday class, and then you'll finish tonight. But you should have taken them home. If you didn't, either the kids finished it and they forgot it here. Totally happens. In that case, we'll grab it for you and hopefully you'll get it home this week. Or they didn't finish. And so if they're not done with their chalk pastel project and they come to class, say on Thursday this week, they're not going to get chalk pastels out. The project stays in the closet, the pastels stay in the closet, and it's clay month. So In order for them to finish that project, they need to sign up for a makeup session. You can make a reservation on the website, either for Wednesday nights in Liberty or for Friday nights in Flatwoods. Okay. But clay projects start this week. Our K-thirds are going to be making a slab project. So that involves like rolling pins, think pancake. And our subject matter for those are fish. We're going to make slab fish. Those will become wall hangings. So they are two-dimensional clay art. So they will be like a plaque, things like a plaque. So they're going to design their fish. We're going to look at all different photographs of fish. We have a slideshow this week that goes over kind of some art history. So how fish themes have been shown through art, so they can kind of see the breadth in which sea creatures are shown. They'll design their own fish, and we will play with clay. So today, and not today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and next Monday, we're just gonna play with clay. We're gonna squish it with our fingers. We're gonna talk about the properties of clay. We're gonna practice rolling out slabs. We're gonna practice putting texture in those slabs without poking through the slabs. Having kind of a light hand. We're gonna discover the types of textures that we really like. And so that way, when we get to making the fish, we've actually kind of got a little bit of a library or an idea what we want to do. So that's what's happening. Anything they make in class in this first week of October is going to get squished back up and put back into the clay bag. And then we will build the actual project in week 2. So this is our like exploring, experimenting, learning, practicing, doing some art history. That's what this week is all about. And all the other classes are doing that this week too. So that's why I kind of just made one slide. All right. So my 4th, 5th, my homeschool classes, they are building 3-dimensional. We're going to use pinch pot building techniques. This is a like fundamental technique. You probably remember it from your elementary school days when you had to roll your clay into a ball and stick your thumb in it, right? And then you had to shape all the walls using your thumb as the middle of the pot, and all of these hands and these fingers to squeeze those walls into kind of a thinner, more consistent shape. So we're gonna make those pots. We're gonna practice that today. Oh my gosh, Allison, drink more coffee. This week, we're gonna practice that this week. We're gonna go over and over and over again and build lots of pinch pots, right? So build it, squish it, build it, squish it, build it, squish it, so that we can really get good at it. So by the time we get to next week, hopefully they just have to build it once. We'll also practice putting texture in those pots. So, if we wanted to do a design on the outside, or if we wanted to make it perfectly smooth, like how do we do that? And what tools do we use? So they'll get to practice that. Again, anything we make gets squished back up, put back into the closet, and they will build in week 2, right? The pots that we make for the 4th and 5th and homeschoolers, as well as our older kids, are going to become planters. So the last couple of years, we've made them into candles. We've actually scented, colored, and poured wax with wicks and turned them into candles. This time, we're going to make planters out of them. So we've got dirt, and I haven't ordered the succulents yet because I don't want to have to keep them alive. So I don't need 100 succulents to keep alive, but we'll order a little 2-inch succulents. The kids will get to pick their little plant, and we'll get them potted so they'll have a little planter. Right? My older kids are also building a planter, but they're not doing pinch pot. Most of these kids, 6th, 7th, 8th, 12th, are they are pinch pot pros. So we're going to go something a little bit more challenging, and they're going to do some coil building, which the walls, instead of made just simply by shaping a lump of clay, they are built up layer by layer using coils, which is a fancy word for a snake. If you've ever rolled a Play-Doh snake, that's what this is. So they will roll their coils and then stack them to make those walls. Stack them in whatever shape you want, right? You make a coil pot that's an organic shape. You can make a coil pot that's round. You can make a coil pot that is, make all sorts of different shapes. And it can also kind of do that where it narrows and widens just by setting the coil inside or outside of the coil below it. It's a lot of technique that has to happen in order for these to be structurally sound. So is it hard? No, this is not this is not hard, but it is hard to do it well. So we're gonna really challenge them to build structurally sound pots. They will have to do a lot of what we call slipping or scoring and slipping, which is the joining method that we use with clay so that the 2 pieces stay together. And then they'll have to decide when they are finished with the actual structure if they would like the coils to stay visible or if they would like to smooth out all the sides with slip. And so we will look forward to their designs. We have some really great, we didn't really talk about it, but with the younger ones, they said the art history follows like fish through the art world and how it's represented as a symbol. For our older kids, we're looking at clay and actually like some well-known modern contemporary clay artists and how they build. One of the ones we're looking at with our big kids is actually a coil builder. So you can kind of see so many times with clay, we think ceramics and we think wheel, but hand building is what we do here in the studio. So we tried to find artists who strictly build these vessels through hand building instead of through throwing on a wheel. A lot of good stuff. Okay, creative explorations. So all the stations for creative explorations also switched. We're gonna change everything up. The things that you saw in September will go away. We got new things for you. We're gonna have clay hand building as our media focus. So our creative explorations kids will also get to play with clay. Because this is a child-led class, if they want to make slab fish plaque wall hangings, cool. You want to make coil pots, go ahead. You want to just make turtles, I don't care. So they'll get to make whatever they want. With this group, what we will do, since they only meet 3 times instead of 4, the wet clay will be out the entire month. But you only get to keep what you make in week 1 and week 2. Okay, so in week 3, although we will have the clay out as a station to explore and make, you won't take anything home that you make in week 3 because we really want whatever you do make to be something that you can finish. Okay, so we want we want a day that you can paint, and if you do that in week 3, then you're done, and November comes up next. So so the clay hand building will be our media focus. Our art history focus is the history of clay. So we've got a worksheet that talks about like how clay is made and what the history is, how it's been used through the ages. And so you can color and explore that sheet. The journal invitation, again, we're looking at vessels. And so we've got different pattern papers and ways to draw and design vases or vessels. The collaborative vertical surface will be a large scale painting where we explore with odd painting tools and texture tools. We've got sensory for Play-Doh, again, very 3D stuff. And then even our drawing, still life is done through clay this month. So we're going to get out the plasticine clay, which is a colorful wax-based clay, and so it never dries out. And we're gonna play with that. And so you actually use it like in a mosaic style on foam core is how you make your drawing. So where you tear little pieces, and you can even build your drawing up a little bit dimensionally, kind of speaking like the fish plaques, right? They're 2-dimensional, they're flat, they're made to hang on a wall, but they have some texture to them. That's what we'll do for our still life this time. All right, drawing classes. So I've got some things to show you for drawing class. But of course, I gotta get it out. I got it. Drawing 101. So last week in Drawing 101, we kind of finished up our benchmarks and our portraiture. As our last one, we did some, I posted a video on Instagram, hopefully you saw it. We did some symmetry drawings, like 2-handed symmetry drawings where we grabbed 2 markers and drew with 2 hands. And so this is an example. We stapled them into the journals. You can see the midline here. And we just explored making sure that what our right hand was doing, our left hand was also doing. And it's a great like brain exercise. These are kind of the first ones that were really scribbly, and you can see we got more intentional as we went. And that was just our warm up. It works both hemispheres of the brain and is so good for us. Then we took that concept of symmetry and we explored it through portraiture. So we had these printouts. This one over here is the copy and the printout, and then they had to draw the other half of the portrait. So lots going on there. We talked about like, how do you know where this eye goes? And, so we're matching the distance from the midline as well as the vertical, like the vertical path. So a lot of great like conversations where they had to verbalize like why, how do you know that's where it goes? And so we talked about that. And then there's also some really great color matching that had to happen. This is a 101 class. So we didn't do a lot with color matching color pencils. That was 102. But these guys did a really fantastic job of trying to match skin tone, which is hard. So, a lot of good stuff. I got one more. Oh, I didn't turn to this one. Hang on, let me find it. Here it is. So, good stuff going on here. It also gives, I like this one because you have to really pay attention to like what are the colors and the values happening, you know, so good observation skills exercise. All right, in 102, oh, sorry, 101 this week. So this week we kind of switch gears and our theme moves away from portrait and figure and people. And we do a lot with fall and Halloween. So good stuff happening. 101s are going to be working with charcoal this week. We're going to do one of my favorite lessons. We're going to do bat reductive drawings. So we have these photographic references. They're little half sheets that are bats, and they're in black and white, and they're super, super dark. Like they've got mostly black all over the outside, right? Because they're nocturnal. That's what bats are. And the light areas, of course, are like the highlights where the bats are. So we're going to learn reductive style of drawing. We're going to cover our whole paper with charcoal, and then we'll use an eraser to dig out highlights, which usually we do it the other way, right? Usually we start with white paper and we add in our darks. This time we're going to start with a darker paper and we're going to dig out the lights. So that should be really fun. Also very messy, so wear old clothes to the studio. All right, here we go. 102 classes. So my 102 illustrative class. Let's start with them. I gotta go get my paper because I don't teach this one, so I have to think about it. All right, 102 illustrated. If they finished up their kind of it's not a benchmark, like foundational lessons with a composition lesson last week. And then this week they kind of move into the nitty-gritty. Like this begins this first week of October. This begins like kind of the style and the format of lessons that you'll see for the rest of the year. So they're going to kick it off with animals this week. So they will look at photographs of animals, and then they will turn those into illustrations, and they'll have to use things like line weight and composition. They'll have to use their stippling, scrumbling, and cross-hatching techniques. They'll also have to work on like simplifying shapes so that realistic photograph drawing becomes an illustration and becomes their own style, right? So if this is a tiger and it's a photograph of a tiger, how do I make him look goofy? How do I make him look juvenile? How do I make him look like he's the bad guy in my story? How do I make him the villain? You know, and what are the things I change in his facial structure or in his eyes or in the way I apply line weight in order to communicate those characteristics to my viewer? And so those are the conversations we're going to be having. It's not just about pen to paper drawing, but actually making those design choices and then executing them. So I'm looking forward to seeing how our kids do with those challenges, because that is what we're going to be doing for the rest of the year. Like it'll be a different theme, you know, whether it's animals or it's plants or it's interior rooms or exterior rooms, but it's going to be looking at how those themes are represented through art. So we'll look at the art of other artists, but then also we'll make our own. So, good times. All right. And make sure I didn't get anything wrong. Okay, I think we're good. All right, your advanced realistic for 102s. So we had a staff meeting last night. The other 102 teachers did the linear perspective lesson. And so they drew an interior room everybody did 1 point perspective. So we didn't tackle 2 point, we did 1 point perspective with one vanishing point and horizon, which was a really great introduction. Miss Grace and Miss Bailey said their classes did great with it and they really liked it. My class, we did not do that lesson. I teach on Tuesday nights. So if you're on Tuesday nights in Liberty, we had a wild card week because my people really just wanted to finish their art. And so we needed to go back and finish projects. Most of them worked on self-portraits. And so I wanted to share some of them because they're amazing. So this is 2 weeks worth of work. So you're talking like an hour and 45 minutes worth of drawing. So they did a fantastic job. Lots of amazing colored pencil technique, right? Because we had to do all of the blending. Not everybody finished theirs, but they worked really hard on representing themselves. And they could do anything. It's just that most of them chose to work on the self-portrait. So I wanted to share this one because she actually didn't work on the previous weeks. She started over. And so there was the previous week. And then this was her second attempt. Which I love when we repeat drawings. I can't even tell you how many self-portrait drawings I've done, but every time you do, you get better at it. So, so we did a wild card week in my class, and it's not a big deal because we'll do linear perspective in 2 weeks anyway, because we're going to do it for haunted houses. So, you know, they'll get it then. It'll be okay. The Drawing 102 classes this week are doing the same bat reductive drawing techniques that are 101s. So again, we're going to get out those photographs that are bats that are really, really dark, and we're gonna cover our paper with charcoal and then dig out highlights using an eraser. We'll probably cover with vine charcoal or willow charcoal, which is a more of a mid-tone. It's not like super, super dark. So we'll actually start with a grayscale. It's easier to erase, and then we'll go back in and use additive methods to add like our 4s and 5s in our value scale. So lots of great value work, and just kind of a different way of thinking. So some people love reductive drawing, and some people are like, my brain doesn't work that way, and that's okay too. It's still good for us. So we're going to draw bats. It'll be very, very messy for our 102 classes, for realistic. So make sure that you wear old clothes because we're going to make a mess. 103 classes. So my 103 realistic classes, Sarah's class meets tonight in Flatwoods. And so I know that they're going to finish their projects tonight and their celebrity portraits for September. My Tuesday class in Liberty already took their stuff home. In the month of October, we're going to be working on graphite drawing. So we'll move away from the charcoal and go into pencil drawing. And we're going to do reflections. So all of their photo references, which they'll get to choose what they work from, and their composition, but all of their photo references deal with light through glass or light through water or both. And so there's a lot of ways that you can get lost in the reference. And so we're going to learn grid drawing, and we're going to use our grid drawing techniques in order to draw our pictures. 102 comic and cartoon. I know Thursdays, Cece's class in Flatwoods finished their projects and did a great job. Anyone who didn't, I think, came in on Friday and worked at their makeup sessions. I brought a couple from my class in Liberty because they haven't finished yet, because I just wanted to show you how awesome these are. So you're going to see like some of them, they'll finish tonight. So some of them are really far along in their coloring, but they've got all their inking done. Look at that line weight on that so fast. Such a good job. This is a 2-point perspective drawing. So this is one of our more advanced artists. So we tried to, if they had a lot of experience, we went with 2-point. If they were new to us, we really, really recommended like a 1-point perspective just because it's a little bit easier. But they were designing their interior rooms and getting those all inked. So a lot of them are ready for color so that they can finish up. This one here is another 2-point perspective drawing. It's one of our experienced artists who's been with us a while. So you can really see a difference and see some and what practice will do for you, right? They do a great job. So these guys will finish them tonight. And then my 103ers for the month of October are going to be doing, sorry, I got distracted because I'm like, wow, that one's wild. Look at that one. That is a forced linear perspective. So my 103ers in illustration for the month of October are going to be doing a split portrait. So we're going to look at a character from 2 different sides, not physically 2 different sides, but their character and their personality. So what are their aspects that we want to illustrate? So that's what this is about, is illustration. We're going to illustrate 2 aspects of their personality using a split portrait. So it should be kind of back into characters, which a lot of them really love to draw people, which is ironic because like the realistic people are like, portraits again. But our illustrators and our comic drawers are like, yes, people. So we're gonna do people for them. They'll do a character split portrait through ink. I mean, their media, unlike my realistics, who we change their drawing media, kind of the illustrators, they're solid like ink all the time. So, all right. Housekeeping. Look at this. We have made it to October, and so we need to talk about the fall party. Those of you who have been with us before, you're like, old hat Allison, we got it. Looking forward to it. Got it on the calendar. But for my new people who are like, I don't even know what this is. When we opened in 2014, we didn't do this, but in 2015, the first year, we had an all studio fall party, and we did it in the month of October. The date kind of floats around, but it's always in October. And it was just a chance for the community to come together so that you can meet the parents of the other kids who maybe take art classes with your kid. You can see around the studio, you can talk to us, because I know that it's a whirlwind sometimes when you come for classes. And so this just kind of gives us a chance to be like, oh, look, everybody's just here to visit. So we're putting on a party. It is only for enrolled artists. You have to be in October classes in order to come. So you can't invite friends. It's not for, your neighbors. It's just for you guys who are in classes. And we do ask that it's just for you guys in your immediate family, like the people that live in your household. Please don't invite aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents. Especially in Liberty, we are bursting at the seams to host this party. So I don't want you to not have siblings come or not bring both parents because you're worried about that. Please don't worry about that. But just the people that that live in your household would be great. So the All Studio Fall Party is coming on Sunday, October 20th. It's from 4 to 6 p.m. Again, that time has floated a little bit, but I think we've figured that the earlier time works better than like a later time. It's Sunday night and everybody wants to be done, right? And move on with your day. It also helps because it's a little bit warmer sometimes and we have to be outside, especially in Liberty, because we don't all fit in the building. So anyways, about the party, we have stations set up for you to decorate or carve pumpkins. The studio provides all of that. It's BYOP though. You have to bring a pumpkin. And it's optional. You don't have to bring a pumpkin. You can just come to the party. But if you'd like to, you can bring pumpkins and we'll decorate and we'll carve. I'm trying to think. We have those stations set up usually kind of around the interior of the building. And then we have food set up. So Liberty puts their food outside because we don't have room. So I provide hot dogs. My husband is usually nice enough to grill them all for us. So hot dogs and chips and water bottles and usually Halloween candy. So we'll have that for you guys. And then we are back to doing the chili cook-off. It's been since COVID that we haven't done chili. And so I think it's time to bring back the chili cook-off. So we would love to have you bring a pot of chili to share, just crock pot, your favorite recipe. We will do, we'll provide the bowls and we'll also provide little tasting cups so that way people can go around and taste all of them and vote for their favorite pot of chili because we will give out prizes. I believe the prize this year for chili, like in the past, we've given t-shirts, which is fine, but I think we're going to do a half price discount on spring semester tuition. So if you'd like to win the chili cook-off, I feel like that would be worth it. So we're going to take chili, and that helps feed everybody as well. And trying to think what else. We provide the spoons, the bowls, the tasting cups. We'll also bring toppings. And so I'll get like cheese and onions, which I don't like. That's fine. Crackers. Yeah. So that way you can have things you need on chili. But it's a really fun event. We'd love to have you join us for the fall party. Now, the most important thing I guess you need to know is RSVPing is required because I have to shop for food. So the deadline for RSVPing is the 15th. The link to do the RSVP. So I've got that and I will put it in the email when I send out this video. I'll also post it to the private Facebook group, but we do try to kind of hold on to that link. Like I won't put it on the public pages because then I get people who don't read that it's only for enrolled artists. So, and then there's an awkward conversation where I have to reach out to someone and be like, you can't come. And I don't like that. So there's that. Okay. All right. I think that's all I have on the fall party. Oh, don't wear costumes. Well, okay, if you want to wear costumes, great, but please be advised that there are not washable art materials out for the pumpkins, and I'd hate for somebody to get like acrylic paint on their princess costume that they're planning on wearing in a week and a half for Halloween. So I don't really recommend it. If you would like to, you sure can. The instructors are usually in costume. All right. Our plein air workshop is coming up this Saturday in Liberty. Oh, wait, I gotta click my slide. So it's for kids coming up on October 5th. I currently only have 2 people signed up, so I would really like to have a few more kids. I'm leading this one. We're going to be outside on the square drawing and using viewfinders, and I would love to have. You can find that on, well, it's not on the website right now. I don't know if you guys heard, we had some website issues. That's an understatement last week. But I'll put the link in the email. Okay. Because it'll take me a second to get that updated on the website. All right. And then Halloween art classes. So, oh wait, click the slide, Allison. Pay attention. Click. I can't do a touchpad. I just can't. I got to get a mouse. Okay. Halloween art classes are coming up. I know, I don't think any of them are full yet, but they're getting close. So if you're planning on coming October 18th, in the morning is the preschool and the evening is the grade school. And up, we would love to have you join us for blacklight art. And that's everything. That's all I have, I think. All right. If anybody needs me, I'll be frantically trying to redo my website. I did stay up really late last night, you guys, and I got a lot rebuilt. So the main stuff is done. I've got, I mean, not all the information is on all the pages, but at least you're not going to get a 404 error message when you go to them. So they are being rebuilt from scratch. And by they, I mean I am rebuilding them by scratch. So if you do get an error message and like you're trying to go to a page and it doesn't work, just bear with me. You can send me an email and I'll get you the information, but it's slow going to get all that back up. I do also not have a site backup. It's terrible. So it'll be okay. My saddest part is I lost 10 years worth of blog posts, you guys. Gone forever. Never to be seen again. Oh well. Hope everybody has a wonderful first week of October, and I hope to see you in the studio real soon.